Welcome to AI Daily Deep Dive. Just so you know up front, this entire deep dive, looking at the top 5 AI news stories from today, Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025, was researched and generated entirely using AI.
That's quite the meta intro. It'll be interesting to see what the AI itself flagged as the most important developments in its own field today.
Definitely. So let's jump right in. First up, something, well, unexpected perhaps. With the passing of Pope Francis on April 21st, there's been some AI activity trying to predict his successor.
Really? Who's been doing that?
Agence France Presse, the news agency, actually went and asked ChatGPT, Elon Musk's Grok, and Google Gemini for their predictions.
Wow. Okay, applying algorithms to the conclave, that's a
Hmm.
novel. What did the AIs come up with?
Well, it was mixed. Grok and Gemini, they both lean towards Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin.
Ah, the Secretary of State.
Exactly. They pointed to his role since 2014. Gemini specifically mentioned it was looking at, quote, current analysis and prominent discussions.
Makes sense on the surface, given his position, but did they sound confident?
Not entirely. Gemini also listed 8 other potential candidates. So definitely hedging its bets.
Right, acknowledging the massive uncertainty. That list is telling. What about ChatGPT? Did it agree with the others?
Nope. ChatGPT apparently suggested a completely different cardinal as the frontrunner. The source didn't name who, though.
So 3 major AIs, 2 different leading candidates mentioned, and a whole lot of maybe.
Pretty much, which really gets to the heart of the challenge here, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about the secrecy of the conclave itself. Then there are all the non-quantifiable factors.
Like theological views, geopolitics.
Personal relationships between the cardinals. How does an AI even begin to weigh that stuff? Not to mention the spiritual dimension the article points out.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of AI hitting a wall when it comes to deeply human, nuanced processes. Data can only take you so far.
Exactly. Understanding context, belief, hidden dynamics,
Hmm.
that's still firmly in the human realm. It shows the limitations clearly.
Okay, let's shift from the sacred to the spreadsheet, maybe. Microsoft 365 Copilot has just had a major redesign.
Ah, yes. Microsoft's big push to integrate AI everywhere. This sounds significant for businesses using their suite. What's changed?
Well, the main goal seems to be making the enterprise version feel more like the consumer Copilot experience people might already know.
Okay, streamlining things.
Right. A big piece is an enhanced chat interface. It's supposed to have better memory and offer more personalized help over time.
So it learns about you and your work context.
That's the idea. There's a quote from John Friedman at Microsoft saying they want Copilot to truly understand you through his memory, its understanding, and that it will start to bring you the right tools that you need.
Mm-hmm. More proactive and context-aware assistance that could be genuinely useful if it works well.
What else? They've rolled out a new AI-powered enterprise search. And this is interesting. It integrates with third-party apps.
Oh, like which ones?
Things like ServiceNow, Google Drive, Slack, Confluence, Jira, basically trying to pull info from wherever it lives in your organization.
Okay, that could be a game changer. Breaking down those information silos, big if, but potentially very powerful.
Definitely. Then there's a Create feature. It uses GPT-4o, the newer model, to generate multimedia.
Multimedia, like images and video.
Yeah, images, maybe videos right within your Office documents. Seems like an evolution of Microsoft Designer, but embedded more deeply.
Expanding beyond just text generation, making it easier to, say, whip up a presentation visual on the fly. I can see the appeal.
And for project work, they've introduced something called notebooks.
Notebooks, like a digital binder.
Sort of. Lets you gather pages, links, files for a specific project, and then kind of brief Copilot on that project so it can give more focused assistance.
Ah, so providing context for more specific tasks. That makes sense.
They also mentioned the Pages feature for easier collaborative editing across the Microsoft ecosystem. And get this, an agent store.
An agent store, like an app store, but for AI agents.
Exactly. Access to specialized AI agents from Microsoft and potentially third parties. The article even connects this to that concept of frontier firms.
Right, where humans manage teams of AI agents. Jared Spataro was quoted on that, wasn't he? It's this emerging model of work.
Yeah. So overall, it's about embedding AI much deeper into workflows, aiming for, productivity and better collaboration.
Seems like a very comprehensive update, really pushing Copilot as the central AI hub within the Microsoft world.
Okay, moving on. This next one is a bit lighter, but also quite revealing about AI's current quirks. Google AI Overview seems to be, well, hallucinating idioms.
Hallucinating idioms. You mean making up fake sayings and then explaining them?
Precisely. It generates these plausible-sounding explanations for phrases that just don't exist. It's a great example of that AI hallucination phenomenon.
Okay, I have to hear some examples. This sounds amusing.
Right. So someone fed it, 2 buses going in the wrong direction is better than 1 going the right way.
Which means...
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Google AI apparently interpreted it as meaning it's better to have a supportive environment, even if the direction isn't perfect.
Wow, that's creatively wrong. It found a metaphor.
Didn't it just... Okay, another one. Never put a tiger in a Michelin star kitchen.
Huh. Okay, what profound wisdom did it extract from that?
It explained it as a warning against introducing chaos or disruption into a highly refined or controlled environment.
I mean, you can kind of see the logic it constructed from the words, even though the phrase is nonsense. It's pattern matching gone wild.
Totally. How about wine poured from the sky won't make you fly?
Let me guess. Something about abundance not guaranteeing happiness.
You got it. Abundance doesn't guarantee desired outcomes, apparently.
It's like an AI proverb generator.
It really is. My absolute favorite, though, don't milk the ghost cow.
Don't milk the ghost cow. Okay, I give up. What does the ghost cow represent?
According to Google AI, it means you shouldn't expect rewards or results from something that doesn't exist or isn't real.
You know, it's funny, but it really highlights that fundamental gap. AI can manipulate language, find patterns, generate text that sounds right.
But it doesn't actually understand meaning or reality in the way humans do. It can't tell real idiom from random words.
Exactly. It lacks that grounding in shared knowledge and common sense. A good reminder to always critically evaluate AI output, you know?
Absolutely. Okay, let's switch over to social media. Instagram. They're testing something. Or rather, retesting something.
Oh, what's that?
A feature that shows you posts that your friends have liked.
Ah, the return of the activity feed, sort of. Didn't they have something like that years ago and then remove it?
They did, yeah. Back in 2019, they got rid of the following tab that showed a lot more detail. This new version seems a bit different.
How so?
It appears as a specific section within your main following feed, labeled something like liked by friends. It seems more focused on surfacing content you might like, based on your friends' likes, rather than just being a log of their activity.
Okay, so less about surveillance, more about discovery using social signals. Why bring it back now, do you think?
Well, the speculation is that users might actually want more social context for discovering posts, seeing what resonates within your network.
Using the social graph to improve relevance and maybe boost engagement.
That seems to be the thinking. Industry watchers quoted in the article suggest it could increase engagement, reinforce that sense of community, and just generally improve content discovery.
It makes sense from the platform's perspective, leverage network effects. But they'll need to be careful, right?
How so?
Well, balancing that discovery benefit with user comfort levels. Some people might not love everything they like being broadcast, even if it's just the content itself. It's that transparency versus potential awkwardness calculation.
That's a good point. And it's just a test for now, so they're likely gauging that reaction very carefully before any wider rollout.
Exactly. Watching the user feedback closely, I imagine.
All right, final story. Let's talk about AI and energy consumption. A constant topic, often framed quite negatively. But the source we looked at, from Vox, suggests maybe we shouldn't panic just yet.
Okay, that's an interesting angle. It is a huge concern, the energy footprint of AI. What's their reasoning for dialing back the panic?
Well, they acknowledge the baseline facts. Data centers currently use around 1 to 1.5% of global electricity.
Which is already significant.
Right, and projections show that could double, or maybe even quintuple, by 2030, driven largely by AI and also crypto.
Yeah, those are the worrying numbers often cited.
They also gave a comparison. A typical Google search uses about 0.3 watt-hours, a ChatGPT query, around 2.9 watt-hours. So significantly more energy per task for complex AI.
Okay, so clearly it's more energy intensive. What's the don't panic part then?
It comes down to a couple of things. First, massive investment in clean energy by the big tech players.
Like who?
Amazon is highlighted as the world's largest corporate buyer of renewable energy. Microsoft is making big bets too, including exploring nuclear power options.
Right, so they're actively working to power these data centers more cleanly. That's crucial context.
Definitely. The other major factor is efficiency gains. The article mentions NVIDIA reporting something like a 100,000-fold increase in energy efficiency for their AI hardware over the last decade.
Wow, 100,000-fold. That's astronomical. So the hardware itself is getting much, much better at doing more with less power.
Exactly. So while demand is rising, the energy cost per computation is falling dramatically.
That's a really important counterpoint to the rising overall consumption figures.
And there's another twist. AI itself might be part of the solution.
How? By using AI to optimize things.
Yeah. Using AI to make energy grids smarter, more efficient, improving resource management overall. So AI could actually help reduce energy consumption in other areas.
Interesting. So it's not just a drain, it could also be a tool for efficiency. It's a complex equation then.
Very much so. The main takeaway seems to be, yes, AI energy use is a serious issue we need to watch and manage, but
But the combination of serious investment in renewables and these huge leaps in hardware efficiency provides a pathway. It's not necessarily a guaranteed runaway disaster.
right, it suggests we can potentially balance the growth of AI with climate goals if these trends in clean energy and efficiency continue.
It requires ongoing effort and responsible development, clearly, but perhaps not immediate panic stations.
So that wraps up our AI-generated tour of today's AI news. We've gone from AI trying to predict the Pope to Microsoft overhauling Copilot.
To Google's AI making up funny idioms, Instagram revisiting friend activity, and finally a more nuanced look at AI's energy demands. Quite the range.
It really shows how AI is weaving itself into, well, almost everything, from the deeply serious to the slightly absurd.
Absolutely. It constantly throws up new capabilities, new challenges, and new questions about its role in our world.
And maybe that's the thought to leave you, the listener, with today. As AI gets more deeply integrated into predicting outcomes, shaping our work tools, influencing our social feeds, and impacting global resources, how do you see this continued integration playing out? What surprises might be just around the corner? Something to ponder. Thanks for joining this deep dive.